What's up, guys? My name is Jacob Clifford. Welcome back to ACDC. Heck. What's up, guys? My name is Noah Sanders, as y'all probably know. And I know for the two of y'all who do watch me, you've been waiting for this video for a very long time because I'm lazy and don't do stuff. But I'm going to teach you today how to actually shoot a bow. Like, for real. Like, you know that video I put, my third video, but it's my first one because I only have 3? Ignore that, because I'm wrong about everything. And today I'm going to teach you how to do it for real because I'm no longer a scrub. So today, I'm going to be teaching y'all. Okay, first things first is how to do a compound. So if you shoot recurve, get out of my face, leave. Now, go. I'm waiting. Take your time. Really. I have all day. And by all day, I mean 15 minutes, but still. Anyway, for the y'all who did stay, and by that I mean the one person watching this, this is a compound bow. If it's not obvious, now it is. This is it. And basically what you're going to need is A, this, B, arrows, and it's really going to help if you have one of these. It's a trigger release. Pretty much all you got to do is press this and it fires. Also, something you may want to look into getting is this little thing around my finger, and it's a loop. And the reason this helps is with your grip, you're not supposed to hold onto the bow like this. You're not supposed to have the death grip onto it. You're supposed to just kind of have your hand just barely on it. I'll teach you a little bit about that later. But let's get started. So first thing you're going to want to know is basically how to properly put your arrow in. Basic steps. Right here we have a knocking loop right here. And you're not going to care about this loop until later. What you're going to care about is this thing inside of it. As you can see, there's a knot right there. And you're just going to want to put your arrow just above that knot. So, depending on the type of arrow you use, you're either going to want to have this odd fletchling facing towards you or down. In my case, I have it facing towards me. And you just pretty much slip that little orange thing right to there. You're good. And then based on what type of rest you have, I have a whisker biscuit. It's this little circle thing. You just drop it to the side like that. Boom. You're done with step 1. Step 1 is the hardest part. I'm just kidding. There's much harder parts. Like getting good. But ignore that. I'm going to pretend I never did that. Basically, next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this thing, if you have it. I guess you could do it with your fingers, but if you want fingers, if you want to keep your fingers, get one of these. You're going to take this little loop right here and just slip it around that knocking loop I was talking about. So get that around, and that should be on tight. So now that that's on, you are going to want to get your feet right. So the way I do it is I make sure that my right foot, or depending, what foot you are, if you're right-handed, it's going to be your right foot right here, parallel to the target, and your left foot's going to be about shoulder width apart. I'll see if I can demonstrate that. Oh, sweet. This is glorious. So pretend target's over there, right foot goes right here, left foot goes shoulder width apart, and you're going to want to angle it just a bit out. Not completely facing the target, but pretty close. Yes, I am wearing. Thank you so much for commenting. So once you have that, it's time to draw. So you're going to want to start from down here, like way down here. And basically, the way you're going to have your hand is across this little part of your thumb, like this muscle right here. You're going to want to have this part going across of it. So you can kind of see here, just resting on that, and you don't want to be gripping it. Be letting it loose. That's another reason this thing comes in handy, because you can pretty much drop your bow once you're done shooting, and it won't do anything. But see, once that tension's on there, it just works. So you want to have it down here. Make sure your footing's right, parallel. And then you're going to go up and kind of breathe in, so... And then relax as you come back down. That's the first part. So just remember, from down here, breathe in and relax. Just kind of let everything go. And when you're pulling back at that down part, you don't want to really be like pulling it back. You just kind of want to let it naturally happen. So I'll show you at this angle. And once you're back here, you really want to have some pressure on it, but make sure that your finger is behind the trigger, because you don't want it going off when you're not supposed to. So when you have it pulled back, finger is always behind the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Now for the scope, I'm shooting a 3-pin dot sight with a level, and if you don't have a level, it's fine, just ignore this step. But pretty much, it's kind of obvious when you're shooting, and when you're all the way back, you're going to be looking through this little loop right here, which you probably have. It doesn't look like you can look through it at this angle, but once it's drawn, I don't know if y'all can see that, you can see through it. So you want to align that loop to one of these dots. So because I'm shooting at a short distance right now, I have it aligned to the green dot, and if you're doing competitive or really far away, you're probably going to be doing your bottom dot. For me, it's red. So, because it's green, you're going to want to be all the way back, looking through the dot, and if you have a level, you want to make sure that bubble is on the middle, exact middle of it. And once it is, kind of let your dots fall. And your dots are going to fall until the green one finally hits your target. It's not going to stay close if you're trying to hit the bullseye, which I hope you're doing. It's going to kind of sway around it. And you just got to keep it swinging until you finally kind of figure out that rhythm. Don't hold for too long. If you end up holding for too long, you're uncomfortable, just release your bow. Don't shoot it. Just bring it back to normal. Take a breath. Give yourself some rest and try again. Don't force yourself to shoot. That usually doesn't end up good. But basically, when you're back there and if everything's good, you finally have like a good thing, a good rhythm, and you know when you're going to shoot. Don't just pull the trigger. Don't just go, okay, I'm dead. Pull it. No, you're going to want to kind of almost scare yourself. You don't want to know when it's going to happen. You're going to wait and just slowly put more pressure on the trigger until it's done. So, I'm taking one practice shot. Just gotta show you. So, footing's right, hand is on right. Make sure there's an arrow in there, or else you don't want to dry fire. That's bad. Up. Relax. Hey, it's bullseye. Look, it's literally hitting the little piece of paper that fell off from all my other time of shooting. Basically, as long as you follow those steps, you will be good and just a better view. So if you did everything that I did, you should have shot and you should have probably not gotten what you wanted, because it takes a lot of repetition to truly get that precision and accuracy that you really need, because I've had that dot sight down. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to... the green or yellow is not going to be exactly where you want it to. You have to figure out the distance that you're shooting and where you need it to be. For example, at my archery center, I shoot at the red, and it hits perfectly. Here, I shoot a little bit below the green, and it hits where I want it to. You really need to figure out that spot. And also, there's a squirrel. You need to figure out how to go through this process consistently every single time. You don't want to have a lot of differences between each thing. You got to have a lot of muscle memory and coordination. It's a lot. So honestly, best thing you can do is practice. Another thing you can do is don't watch my other video because it's trash. But that's essentially it. There's a lot more if you want to go into detail, but this is pretty much a basics video. I'll be taking another practice shot because that might help. I'll go through the steps one more time. So, footing, remember, shoulder width, and the foot closest to the target, you want to angle out a little bit. Arrow. Oh, I don't like this arrow. I have some bad ones. That's another bad one. 1 second. Third time's a charm. Okay. Arrow, odd fletching, out or down, depending on which one it is. You'll know which one it is because if you try the other one, it won't work. Get that in there. Make sure it's in the rest properly. Make sure your rest works. There's a lot of fine-tuning that also has to be done because, you know, you need it to be as perfect as you can because that's pretty much archery. It's perfection. But, footing's correct. Make sure, sometimes my little sight won't work. It'll be blurry. One more thing I want y'all to pay attention to this time is, when I release my bow, look how I don't grab on it. Look at how I just kind of let it fall. Now, if you don't have my little loop thing on your fingers, you don't want to let it fall unless you're just, it's your last shot and you're going to get a new bow anyway, but still, don't. Just don't. But, just look how I kind of let it fall. Everything's very relaxed. very fluid. It's the exact same place. And that's one of the other main points. Archery is not just, oh, actually that's terrible. I'm embarrassed to show that. But it's not just about accuracy. It's about consistency and precision. You want to get the same place every time. Now that's a 9, not a 10. So sorry for that showing. But still, if you follow steps consistently, you'll get really close stuff like this. It gets annoying at a certain point because you'll split arrows. I know I've gone through a bunch. But okay, let's think of our sentences before we say them. Anyway, guys, that'll be the end of the video. This is a bit better. Actually, I take it back. A lot better than my other video, so don't judge it off of that. But basically, that's just the basics. I might come out with some more complex tutorials on how to do stuff, but just for starting, that's pretty much the best you can do. And if you like this video, show it to me by leaving a thumbs up. I'll hope for 2. I'm sure I won't even get that. But be sure to, leave a comment if you see something I'm doing wrong, if you think it's cool, which it's not, but still, if you think it is for some weird reason, leave a comment, and be greatly appreciated. I'll reply, because I need replies. Okay, anyways, alright, I'm gonna leave. Now out. See ya.